Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey y'all, hey. Hello, IG World. Just waiting on this other platform to load up. Hey, how have y'all been? Happy
Hey, what's
Thursday,
going
IG World. All right, Facebook is live. So, hello, Facebook World.
on? So FB,
Happy Thursday, everybody. Hey, Martell, out in IG World. How are you, millionaire? Or should I say billionaire? Hope you are doing amazing. All right, y'all. So, hey, it is Thursday. Y'all know what time it is. Live Q&A with Jerry and Alle.
what's up? What's up? I'm Jerry. That'd be me over here, and this right here is my illustrious co-host Alicia.
Illustrious. Is that your favorite word? You like that word, huh?
Illustrious. Yes, it is my favorite word. So word of the month, illustrious.
No, it's not. So happy fourth quarter, everybody. And you're probably like, fourth quarter. Yes, happy fourth quarter. It is October, y'all. Where has like 2020 gone, right? We're sitting here and we're just like, wow, it is October. Next week we got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and we are out of 2020 in the Jumanji board, right? We're waiting for that grand finale. But anyway, we got some amazing things to do in 2021. But hey, before we get to 2021, let's just finish up 2020. So
Right.
what did he say? He said he's great billionaire. So he said billionaires with a B. That's
With
what
a
I'm talking
B.
about, Martell.
Heard
He's
that.
tuning in from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, on IG. So looks like we got about 3 people on Facebook. You ready to rock and roll?
Well, yeah, I mean, not until somebody puts something in the comment section about where they from. I mean, they gotta put where you from, rep your city. We're gonna give you a shout out, and we're gonna get you going, and then we're gonna get live here in just a second with what's today's topic, by the way?
We're talking about how to increase your credit score.
That's right, how to increase yo credit score. I hope you're ready.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm super excited. I hope y'all were on the call Tuesday. I warned y'all last week when we talked about home ownership. I was like, y'all need to be on this call Tuesday. And I've been dropping a little bit of nuggets every now and then. I don't want to give y'all everything for free, right? I don't want to give it all away, but I've been dropping some hints there. And, Jerry's been talking about some things. But again, drop in the comments where you're tuning in from. This is your first time seeing us, whether you're watching the replay or if you're watching this on YouTube. We uploaded. We're from Wilmington, North Carolina, aka the Port City. So we got another Wilmington on here. Hey, Michelle, thanks for tuning in. We got somebody else on IG. Yeah. I can't tell who that is, but hey, thanks for tuning in.
I am Bands.
No, that's Martell. There's somebody below there.
Ellis Bissong.
All right. Well,
What's
Ellis,
up,
hey,
Ellis?
wherever you're tuning in from, hey, hey, hey.
Marcel said he got the bands.
He got the bands. Them bags and bands. He's securing the bag.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So today we're talking about how to increase your credit score, and we're going to cover what exactly goes into your credit score, because you can't increase something until you know exactly what is inside of it. And then we're going to cover the 2 ways to increase your credit score. Somebody told you something different, then they lying, because there's only 2 ways to really increase your credit score, and we're going to cover that. So stay tuned to the end, and then we're going to do something really special at the very end as well. So without further ado, what goes into credit score?
Whew. Listen, y'all. There's a framework, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There is a framework. There is a model. And honestly, just the trick to this credit score is knowing this model. Yeah. There are 5 things on this model, okay? Right. So, we got somebody. That's when. Hey, Miss Denise, thank you for tuning in. Is it Teachy, North Carolina?
Yeah, Teachy.
Where's Teachy?
That's where Fo's from.
Oh, that's out near Wallace,
yeah.
Burgall, yep. Out that way. Okay, hey, friend. We went to Duplin Winery out that way. I like the country. I'm a country girl myself. I'm from Lincoln.
She sure is. She be outside
Can't you
barefoot.
Tell? Hey, y'all. Can't you tell?
Just running around the yard barefoot. I'd be like, "Where your shoes at?" She like,
anyway,
I'm from the country.
Back on topic. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Hicks. So again, it's about a framework. So let's go through the 5 different things. Now, out of the womb, you get 300 points. Okay, so your children run around right now. Hey, they have 300 points right now. Luckily, it's not like it was back in the day where you can put your child's name, on the credit bill or the phone bill. Thank God, right? Now we're getting financial literacy, and now we're getting to the point where we can start to not only educate them, but start building their credit. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but let's talk about this 300 you're already given, okay? Before you get to college, right? Getting out of high school, you're ready to senior year, and you're just like, oh, when I turn 18, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then they start hitting you with those credit cards, right? And you get them. You don't know what you're doing. You weren't educated. I'm speaking for myself here.
Yeah,
Weren't
you
educated.
speaking for me. You speaking to me.
Out here just maxing them mugs out.
They were
And-
like, free money. I was like, oh, I could just swipe
Right.
this.
Right. And then you turn 34, right? I'm 34. He's 35, right? You get in your
tell my
30s.
age.
And you're like, whew, I should have been paying attention. Somebody should have taught me what I was doing because now I got to clean all this stuff up.
Let me tell you something. I thought when I graduated, I would just be able to pay everything back. So I was just going swipe happy. You know those Razor phones, like the small,
I had
the
every
thin
color.
ones?
I had every color.
Right? They were like $500. Just basic phone, flip phone.
The purple, the silver, the burnt orange.
I had lost mine, and I just bought another one on my credit card. Oh, it's all right. We'll just buy another one. It's like just stuff I would never do today. You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you get out here, you're swipe happy, right? You done max this mug, and like I said,
swipe life.
And then you get to the point where you got to get a home or you got to get a car, all this stuff, and life gets real, and you're just like, whoo, where did I mess up? So let's talk about this right now, okay? Because like I said, the very important to this, and I say that we're bigger than credit, because it's not just about, people may look at us, we've been doing this for going on 5 years. Oh, it's just about credit. No, we're way bigger than credit. We're talking about generational curses here. We're talking about generational wealth. We're talking about financial literacy, okay? Not illiteracy, because that means you don't understand. We're talking about understanding the things that we weren't taught in school. So this is where this comes from. So let's talk about this framework, okay? 300 out the womb, right? The number one thing that is going to give you 192 points to go on this that costs 35% of your score is your payment history, okay?
Write that down. That sounds cool.
Your payment history. So what are we talking about here? Number one, you're already, I told Brady I wanted to wear a t-shirt. Our faith has us out here living risky. We have matching t-shirts,
What is it now?
Our faith has us out here living risky. Now let's talk about risk. When they're lending you this stuff, you're looked at as a risk. They want to see your payment habits. They want to see your money mood. Remember what money mood, right? If you get to know me well, then money mood is like your spending habits, right? Hey, Clayton from Greenville, North Carolina. North Carolina is in the building. I love it. Carolina, I love it. I love it.
Y'all go check my man Clayton out too, man. He's got some good stuff on his page.
Absolutely. We got to get out there soon. So again, payment history. You're already looked at as a risk. They're looking at all your money behaviors when you're loaning, when you're getting a credit, okay? When you're building your credit. Especially when you get to the point with home ownership and car dealer, they're looking to see, hey, does she pay her bills on time, right? So payment history. Pay that mug on time, okay? When this is not like we talked about business credit a couple weeks ago, right? This is not paid in 30 days, right? You can kind of have that mentality, but you got to pay that full thing off in 30 days. You need to have that same mentality, keep that same energy when it comes to your personal credit, meaning in 30 days, you're going to have a bill just like you would with, personal credit, but with business credit, but with personal credit, you need to pay that whole thing off too, not the minimum balance, at least, get it to, if you can't pay, maybe you got two other bills, or it's the first of the month, or your car insurance or something else, and you need to pay a little bit more than the minimum, period. You need to figure out, well, did I go over my utilization? That's what we're going to talk about in a second. Get it back down between that 10 to 30% utilization. I got to pause for just a moment right here. Hey, Miss Mary Arrowwood from Lincolnton, North Carolina, L-Town.
Hey,
listen. I'm saying this live so you know I'm sincere. I am so sorry that I didn't get to come see you when you were down here. She came to visit last week. I am so sorry. I hope you're still watching. My apology. I just got slammed, but I will inbox you. I'm going to send you something special, but I did want to be precautious as well. And congratulations, y'all. Let me just tell y'all, she rang the bell, y'all. She rang the bell, okay? I'm not going to get emotional, but y'all know what it means. She rang the bell. I'm super excited for her. We used to work together back home. And again, I'm sorry, and I love you, and I'm super proud of you. God is doing amazing. He's going to do an amazing thing with you. So let me move on because I'm going to get all teary-eyed. Oh, we got somebody else in here. Shannon from Mississippi. Welcome. And whoever else joined on IG. I done got thrown off topic trying not to be the crybaby. But
okay, I'll give you a second to breathe a little bit. What's up, TV Bossy on IG? That's what's up. And if you're not following us on IG, that's I am Alicia Friday Goins, and I am Jerry Goins on IG. But yeah, so tapping on just what she was saying about payment history, we're actually, for the people that are in our Goinsfinancial private Facebook group, we're actually going to be dropping something to show you exactly how to pay those cards and pay them off on time and then you get to just reuse the balance. But we're going to cover that if you're in our private group. And if you're not in our private group, join the movement. Inbox one of us. Let us know.
Right. There's 2 certain dates you need to know about. I love to give hints. There's 2 certain
Girl,
dates you need to know about.
don't
Okay,
do it
anyway, number two, I just said this. I said if you can't pay the full balance, you want to go above the minimum. So let's say you have a 500 credit limit card, okay? You can't pay that $40 minimum, right? But you want it, or you can't pay the full. Say you spent, I don't know, 400, maybe you're almost maxed this thing out. You pay 400, and then you can't pay that full 400 off in that 30-day frame. They're going to say your minimum is about 35, 40, something like that. You need to go over that. What you need to do is figure out, well, what is 30% utilization of that card? And it is 150. So you need to figure out that 40 minus that 150. That's what you need to be paying towards that bill. If you can put a little bit extra on it to get it back at 30%. Why is this important? Because credit utilization is 30% of your score. That's worth 165 points, okay? And I would say that payment history and utilization are the two very, they're very, 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 very important. IG, I might be sliding out of your frame, but I'm here. Just listen to me. But very, very important. These are the 2 most important parts, okay? Paying on time and making sure that you're not, going over that limit. And I know you're saying, well, what's the point of getting a credit card if I can't max this mug out? You can max it out when you get a black card. So get to the black card status. You can max all you want to. But right now, you learn discipline. Yeah. Right? Learn some discipline. So, Mr. McCambry, that's one of our mentors. And I hope I don't say this wrong, but we have this financial wellness program, right? And one of the things that he said in here is saying the interest on your credit cards is something that, basically it's a penalty almost, okay? So basically it's your penalty or, a punishment for not having self-control. Right. So when you think about that, then when you're out here and you get this store card, do you really need that purse? Do you really need, another pair of shoes? Do you really need whatever it is? Do you really need that thing?
Is it worth that house? Right. Not qualifying for that house just because you have a maxed out credit score or credit card, and it's affecting your credit score. So sometimes you got to think about that too. And the credit utilization is really, I always compare it to a car. The speed that's on the dash. Just because a car says you can go 160, that don't mean you should be maxing that speed out. You want to be disciplined and go the speed limit. And the speed limit that they set at the credit bureaus is 30%. Right. You want to be below that.
Yeah. So have some self-control for a little bit. Okay. Yeah. And one way to get around that is, when you start building these credit cards and you start getting these trade lines, hey, just get groceries with it, or pay one bill with it, pay your cell phone bill, or use it as a gas card. And have good behavior, because what's going to happen is eventually when you're paying on time and you're staying at utilization, the credit card company's like, oh, well, let's give her a little bit more. Right. Let's give them a little bit more, because hey, they're in business to make money, so they're in business to loan you more money in the first place. So have that self-control and just, get a little bit more, right? That's going to help you, because why does that help you? Because of these next 3 points, okay? Number 3, the age of your credit, okay? So with this, they're looking at how long have you had that credit account? How long have you had this credit card? You don't want to be opening and closing accounts. That's bad, okay? So like places like Fingerhut and stuff that tell you that, hey, you can build your credit. You definitely can build your credit with these things, but what happens is when you start doing that, after you pay off that item, guess what?
What's that?
Closed account. You don't want closed accounts, okay? I'm not an expert on those types of things, or QVC. I don't know if QVC has a credit card too. I'm not an expert on those things, but a lot of people go to Fingerhut because it's easy to get approved most of the time, okay? But you don't want closed accounts. That hurts you. That dings your score again.
So,
okay?
So you're saying they go and they buy that item that they were looking at on Fingerhut, and then when they're done paying for it, they go and close the account out.
They close the account out when you're done. Okay. And that happens with anything. When you pay your car off, guess what? Closed account. Right. Okay.
So that's why when people are saying, that's one of the questions that we get all the time, actually. So if you do have a credit question, go ahead and drop it in the comments so we can get to it. But one of the questions that we get is, I just paid this loan off. Why did my credit score dip?
It dips for just a minute with that case.
Just a minute.
Same thing with your mortgage. Like these types of things, when you pay off loans and stuff, it's gonna hit your credit for just a little bit. But guess what? it helps you with the payment history. So back to the credit cards. Now I kind of got on a tangent, but back to the credit cards. They're looking at how long you've had these, okay? Right. And for you to get good credit, shout out to Mr. Mark Anthony Bates. He has an 849
Mr. 800.
And listen, I tell him, I pick on him all the time. I'm like, oh, you got that old credit history, huh? Like, I don't even know how old he is, but I was like, oh, you got old. Yeah. Let me get some credit history. I don't need, let me just get some credit history, okay?
Yeah, actually, one thing I learned on the call last night, was it last night or night before last night? Tuesday night's call was that 68% of people that have an 800 credit score are over the age of 40.
Why is that? Because their credit history
they got that
longer.
Old credit.
They got that old credit. Let me get some credit history. So speaking of that, just a side note, your children, don't do that. Don't do that. Your children, if they are to the age, 15, 16, 17, start putting them on your credit cards. If you have good payment history, do not put your children, I'm seeing my finger, do not put your children on them credit card accounts if you don't pay your bills on time. Don't mess them babies up before they get out here in the real world. Do the right thing and let them borrow some of your credit history. So when they do turn 18, they walking out of here with a great credit score. Our mentors, I don't want to quote it wrong, but our mentors, their children are set.
Yeah, Junior, Mr. Rico Jr., he actually, fresh out of high school with a 700 credit score, bought his own car. I think he has almost 0% financing or something like that. At the age of 17. Like, how do you do that? Because he was added to his dad's credit card, and his dad has a black card, for heaven's sake. And that is how generational wealth is built. What are we doing for our children's sake? And making sure we're not messing them up. Like, our mom used to put the light bill in our name, and now we're learning, hey, let's put the credit card in our kid's name. But first, like she was saying, don't mess them babies up with your jacked up credit, putting them on your maxed out credit cards and stuff like that. That's just wrong. No. That's torture. That's almost child abuse. Right. There's something wrong with you. We should.
Yeah. And like, don't do them like that. Don't do them. I guess that's that new thing that we say, right? Don't do me. Like, but honestly, y'all, my parents didn't do that, and I'm glad that they didn't. But guess what? My mother has like 12, maybe 12 credit cards now. I'd be telling her to stop. I think I said this before. But do you know how empowering it is?
Yeah, very.
To be her child, and she went through bankruptcy, and I know she won't care about this. She went through bankruptcy. She's lost her house, all types of stuff. I was there with her when she did. To be able to help her get restored, that is a blessing, y'all. That is a good feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to mama.
Like, that is a good feeling. So, when we talk about this structure,
Alfie in the building.
we talk about this structure. Abide by this structure, and once you get it down pat, teach your children. Okay, let me get off this tangent so I can move forward. Okay, but again, age of credit. 15% of the other 15% of your score worth 82 points, okay? That's going to help you, all right? Because remember, your goal is 300 to 850. This is all your scores are made up of, if you can wrap your head around that, okay? Number 4, credit mix. This is basically what it says. It is a credit mix of all these different things. It's just, baby, it's kind of like a pie chart, okay? Credit mix within itself. It's the mix of all these things, all right? They're looking at this total score. That is worth 10%, and that's 55 points, okay? Like, what types of credit do you have? Meaning that kind of explains a little bit more. Do you have auto credit? Do you have a car loan? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have revolving accounts? Do you have installment accounts? They're looking at all these different types of credit that you have, or these loans that you have, and they're getting a feel of who you are. And I know maybe that doesn't sound fair, but if you can master this model, so what? You know what I'm saying? Just master the model. And number 5, I'm going to pass this back over to JG. Number 5, new credit accounts. That counts for the remaining 10%, and that is 55 points. Now, why am I talking new credit accounts? We want you to get new credit accounts. You have to. That's part every now and then, but you want to like sprinkle some salt on it every now and then. Right. You don't want to be.
I like that. Sprinkle, like seasonal.
Salt never loses its flavor,
Hey,
but listen. You want to make sure that you're doing that, not all the time. Every time they ask you, when your credit gets in 650, 670, 680, 700s, they're going to be like, oh, you qualify. Get a no in your spirit, okay? Get a no in your spirit. Just because they said you don't have to get it. But every now and then you might have to add a little bit of new credit because they want to see that in the credit mix, okay? So quick recap, payment history, 35%. That's 192 points. Credit utilization, 30%, 165 points. The age of your credit, 15%, 82. Keyword here, get yourself together now so you can have that old credit history. That's going to push you to the 700, 800 scores, okay? Credit mix, the other 10%, and that's 55 points, and then new credit, the remaining 10% and 55 points, all right? So if you want more credit seekers, I see Hubby Dubby just dropped this in the comments. If you want more credit, you know.
Check your wait, there we go. Check the comment section.
IG, we got you in just a second. And go ahead and click that link. So I'm gonna pass it back to him. I hope that made sense, y'all.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a big. You're making a cake or something like that. You know,
pie chart.
You put 192 points of payment history, and then go down the list like that.
Yeah, it's a pie. Yeah. It's a pie.
I will say one thing: if you don't have a credit card, then there's almost no way that you can get a 700 credit score without having a credit card. So
well,
if you
let's
need
give them
help,
a credit card.
Yeah, if you need help with that, inbox us. We can help you get your first credit card.
Can't say it loud.
No, stop giving away all of our stuff. They got it. They have
such
to come.
A hater, y'all.
They have to let because here's the thing, y'all. And this is how we are with our kids.
Pause. But just because we're giving y'all some tips, let me just say it just came in my spirit. Just because we're telling y'all this, don't think that you can just take this stuff and go out here and do this stuff. Guess what, y'all? Y'all got to clean it up too. We're talking about positive here. We're talking about rebuilding. We're talking about increasing. You still got to clean this up. We still got to clean up the mistakes that we made, and y'all already know what I mean by that. So, all right, I'm done talking. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna be quiet.
No, that's good. That's good. You got anything else?
Not right now.
You good?
For now.
Okay. Hey, now say what you got.
No, I'm all right. Go ahead.
All right. Well, without further ado, because you know it's ladies first up in here. You know what I'm saying? But what I was saying is that's kind of like how we do with our children. Like I'll say one thing, I'll be like, no, never, not in this lifetime, no. And she'll be like, sure, baby, go ahead, you can.
Good cop, bad cop.
All right. So the 2 ways to increase your credit score. She just gave you the blueprint of what is in your credit report and how to build that up and everything that you need in there. So the 2 ways to increase your score, number 1 is going to be to get rid of all the negative items that are holding your score back. Number 2 is going to be to add positive items to your credit report. Anything outside of that is just probably end you up in jail. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. There's 3 different. There's 3 different things that you can do to kind of help your credit report out, like a CPN number. You know, people. What that is it's basically like the identity from a deceased person or a young person or an elderly person or even someone in jail because they're not checking for their social. So what these guys, these false credit repair people will do they'll give you this number and say, look, this is your CPN number. Use this to apply for credit instead of using your social. Now, what that does is it puts you in a weird predicament because if you put someone else's social on a application for credit, that's fraud. You can go to jail for fraud, especially if it's a high amount. If it's over $10,000 that you get, now you're committing felony. Okay, so you gotta be careful with CPNs. That's what I'm talking about. I wasn't joking around with that.
No, I have a horror story off of that one. That's why I was like,
we'll get into that one later, because we're not going to. Basically,
they're in jail now.
Yeah.
But,
okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So that one's done. Okay. So let's talk about removing negative items from your credit report. So we use something that's really cool. It's called the FCRA. Now, if you feel like the government has never done anything great for you, especially if you're out there in the IG world, I know y'all probably tune into the presidential debates and all that stuff and everything that's going on there. But the government did something really cool for us back in I think it's the 60s. They labeled something, actually like 70s, something like that. But it's called the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So as a matter of fact, if you're listening and you're seeing this, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act is what this is. Now, what that means is that Congress is going to hold the credit bureaus liable and accountable to make sure that your credit report is 100% verifiable, that it's timely, meaning that if you make a payment and it's marked late or something like that, that it is corrected. So it has to be timely and it has to be accurate, meaning that information has to belong to you. And what we do is if they cannot prove that information or verify that information, then they must remove that information. Can't prove it?
Gotta
remove it. Okay, that's the new nursery rhyme. You know what I'm saying? So what you have to do is challenge each negative item on your credit report We have a do-it-yourself system. Okay, so if you want to learn how to do this thing your own, we have a do-it-yourself system. Just inbox one of us. We'll get it over to you. It's really affordable too. I think it's only $50, and it comes with all these templates and things like that. And number two is you can just let experts do it for you. Okay, so we also partner up with a company that has over 50,000 clients. 100% of their reviews are 5-star on Google. Okay, that's over I think it's over 100 reviews.
Hey, Miss Linda.
So, hey, Miss Linda, thank you for putting FCRA so people can see that, because some people, they have to see it to remember it. So I appreciate that.
She always takes good notes.
She does. I know how to get her notebook, matter of fact. Send me a copy of that. How much you need for your notebook? Okay, but anyway, that's how you do it. Get with the experts. Okay, we have very reasonable plans that are more affordable than Lexington Law, for example. More affordable than pretty much anything else I've seen out there, especially because we do it for you. Okay, so very important that you understand that. And this is not for people that can't pay your bills. Okay, so if you cannot already manage your bills, then it's probably best that you understand how to do the credit yourself, because what we don't want to do is have you paying for a service that's mainly reserved for somebody that just, is maybe a professional that just doesn't have time to fix their own credit. Maybe a busy person that has the money. I'll just pay somebody to do it for me, versus somebody who is struggling to make ends meet. We don't want to add another bill to you, but it is even more important for somebody that can't make ends meet. It's crazy, right?
That is that. Hey, Terrell.
T. Simmons, Louisville in the building.
TJ, the credit guy.
He
Hi,
said Lexington,
He
Florida.
threw me off IG. I know you can't see our Facebook comments. I am so sorry. He just threw me off with that one. You are absolutely correct. Let's not do that, okay? Let me leave that alone. But listen, what you were saying about people that can't afford it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I understand it, and I see where you're going with that. And it could be, but
oh, we got ways.
How much it costs to send your own letters?
That's true.
The postage.
That
now,
is
regular
true,
postage is fine. When we start talking about
certified.
certified letters, and right now, honestly, y'all, the time is going on right now. Certified letters may be a go-to later on, because they're just about getting in the groove of things. If you want to make sure these things are taken care of and that they see them,
and not throw them away,
not throw them away, right? Not claim they didn't get it. What certified letters do for you is it's certified, meaning there's proof when it was received. Somebody's got to sign for it. They can't turn around and say, I didn't get it. Okay.
Right.
Or I didn't respond within the time frame that they were supposed to respond in, which is now like 60 days right now.
Right.
Last I heard. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But it used to be 30 days and an additional 15. Now they're getting another 15. So the 60 days, that's the last report that I've heard. But certified letters, make sure that they receive them. And when we talk about the do-it-yourself.
If you have a lot of negative accounts, then yeah, it can get pretty expensive. You might as well let an expert go ahead and handle that for you. I guess the main point is what I'm trying to say is some people think that credit repair is for people, for like poor people. No, it's definitely not for poor people.
Everybody has errors.
Everybody has a credit report as well. Just like everybody has a stomach, and sometimes you might want a certain kind of food. Sometimes you'd be like, oh, I can't, I don't want that.
Absolutely, Terrell.
Just like sometimes your credit score is up here and sometimes your credit score is down here, and it needs to be repaired and get it up back into good health. So I would say that, we definitely offer everybody.
And let me just tell you how simple these errors can be. They can leave one letter out of your name and guess what? Whoops, it's not me.
Right.
Okay, they can leave one number, one letter, whatever, misspell your street name. Guess what? It's not me. Okay. Right. Stuff is that simple. So that's what I mean. Everybody has something erroneous on their report. You need to be getting these things cleaned up.
I think they said 1 in 5 people have errors on their report. And most of the times that's keeping them from the things that they need in life, like that new house, that new car, that new job. It's crazy because they said 60% of jobs are now looking at people's credit report before hiring. And I also learned that in New York, and there's some other states where they prohibit people from doing that. So if they have a law out that says you can't do that, then that lets you know that there are people actually doing that in other places. But who's to say that they're not? Like, I didn't look at your credit report. No, sorry, you can't get this job. And they're looking right at your credit report. Who's to say that they're not doing that? Your credit report is kind of like a child. And just when your child is acting bad and out of place, they don't blame the child. They blame the parents. Okay. So if your credit report is out of place and acting bad, they're going to blame you. Okay. So that's another analogy that you can think of. But that's the first way to increase your credit scores. Get rid of those negative items. Either get our self-help guide or let the experts do it for you. We help you do both. Endless testimonials. We're actually products of the product as well. Now, the other way to increase your score is to add them positive items. So just like Ali was saying earlier, is you can add your child to your credit report that's in good standing. You have to be careful with some of these people out here that are selling what's called trade lines, okay? Because if they're selling trade lines and you don't even know that person, you really don't know what you're signing up for. Okay, and it can be very expensive. I've seen trade lines go for up to $1,000. You buy that and you get added to someone's credit card that has a a 20K trade line balance, but you don't know what they're gonna do with that. You don't know if they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna close this out right now. You don't know if
they're paying the bills,
right,
they're following the model.
right. You don't know what other shady stuff that they're doing, and now you're attached to that account as well. They could be money laundering. Who knows? Okay, so it's really very important that you get your own. It's called a primary user trade line. Okay, so that's what they're looking for now, and some places like mortgage lenders, they don't even care if you're not the primary user. They throw it out. They don't even consider it if you're just added on as an AU, which is an authorized user, instead of a PU, which is a primary user. Okay, so you want to own that trade line, and we help you do that. We have a resource with over a dozen different items that you can just click on, purchase it. It's 100% legitimate. It's yours. Shows up on your credit report within 60 days, just about. And now you have a $5,000 trade line. That's all yours. Now you have a $20,000 trade line. That's all yours. And the best part about it is it doesn't ding your credit, because remember what Ali was saying is that new credit dings your report, just like closed accounts ding your report. Any change in an account, new, old, even the inquiries affect your credit. So you don't want a bunch of inquiries trying to get new credit, get denied, apply somewhere else, get denied, apply somewhere else, get denied. You want something that's going to boom, go ahead and be added on, and that doesn't even ding your credit. It's genius when we have those resources for you. But hope that was helpful, y'all. We have reached our 30-minute mark.
Trail's got a question.
Okay.
When is the best time to add trade lines of credit asking for someone?
Oh,
immediately.
As soon as you can afford that bad boy, go ahead and slap that on. Because when you get started with us, we immediately start disputing negative items. You get started with us today. We're sending out dispute letters Friday or Monday. So I don't mean that we're going to be up here. I think we'll send them, next week. I think, we got some more clients to, help out. So we got to help them first.
You get an email notification. They go out. But listen, with those trade lines, as soon as possible. Remember this model, okay? Payment history, how long, not payment history, I'm sorry, age of credit. You need to be doing that as soon as possible, because what's going to happen is a lot of time, just because you have negative stuff coming off, people think they're going to have this tremendous increase because they have, stuff dropping off. And it may be the case for some people. It just depends on your situation. But remember, this is a balancing act, okay? Honestly, you want to have some positives going at the same time negatives are coming off, because you got to start building that thing. So that's my answer. I hope that was helpful. You got anything to add to that?
I mean, you had said something about payment history, and that's important too, because these primary user trade lines, when you make payments on them, they soak up some of those missed payments that you missed from those other ones. So you want to get these things added as soon as you can afford them. Okay, and they're not all that expensive. Some of them are only like $25 to get started. Some of them are like $130, and then only $30 a month. There's different things that you can look at, but it's a really good idea. Every time you get paid, get a little extra money. Let me go see what I can throw on my credit report as a positive item that's going to report. And that's definitely a huge tip. Thanks for that question.
We got another one.
He got another one. Yeah, bring it on.
Does credit repair help with garnishment? Again, he is asking for a friend. Someone.
So it depends on what kind of garnishment. Are you talking about like from the like a tax lien, or they're garnishing your paychecks, something like that, or are you talking about like child support? Because credit repair can get any negative item, anything that cannot be verified. Or that can not be verified as far as timely, or make sure it's accurate. Anything. Sometimes here's the trick.
Student loan garnishments, you take it off too.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, student loans are garnishments, but sometimes the debt is actually yours, and sometimes are 100% accurate. Sometimes it's 100% valid.
Did you say that on
It's
live?
100% yours.
Ooh.
But because the credit repair companies do not respond to you on time, we follow up and say, hey, well, look, we're still looking for a response. You haven't responded, so you have to remove that item. Okay, so sometimes, even if it is yours, it's off of there. It just matters. It's a game, and we're trying to catch the mouse.
But the answer is yes. We do have a question. I can't read it up here on IG. Yeah. I read part of it. Can you stand up and see what that question is on IG real quick?
We read, on IG?
No, IG.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's...
How much is this?
I don't know if you want to read it out loud. It's IG.
Oh, how much, bro? This Mikhail and Miss what you talking earlier need to hear all quickly need help. Yeah, Ed Nonsense. And my man, so Ed Nonsense is wondering how much. So yeah, listen, our credit repair packages are as low as $199
credit
to get
education
started.
packages.
Credit education is okay. I see what you're saying. Because we do so much more than credit repair, y'all. It's not just credit restoration. We have a complete suite, and we just call it credit education because we don't want to water down what we have by just calling it credit repair. We do way much more than that. But what we have, our starter packages only $199, and then $49 per month. Bruh. Okay, so that $49 per month, because you got to think about it, this is a long-term game. If you go to one of these companies that are charging you $140, $120 a month for credit repair, after only like 6 months, you got to think about it, that's $700 versus paying what you pay with us for an entire year. Okay, so we are more affordable on the long term because this is a long-term game. We have people that's been, clients with us, reach their credit score, and they keep the service just because it's so affordable that it now becomes what we call credit protection. Right. And, we have some more tools than that, like budgeting and debt elimination tools. We'll get into that. So, Mr. Ed Nonsense, I'm going to inbox you or DM you. I'm sorry, DM. IG's DM. DM. I'm going to hop in your DM. And I'm going to be reading every message. I'm just playing. In just a moment, and we can hop on the phone and we can talk, okay? Now, Terrell is over here pop quizzing us. This is what he's doing, but I appreciate it. This is why I love having business. Look at his suit and the blazer. He done got his photo shoot. I love having business partners that help us stretch and hold us accountable. So I'm going to take the answer to this question. It says, do we still have to pay the collection or debt if it's deleted from the credit report? The answer is no, because first of all, it don't belong to you anymore. Okay, it probably didn't belong to you and it got put on your credit report because there are people out here that buy your debts and buy your credit, and then they harass you. So then when they harass you, guess what? We got a trick for that too, and it's called credit and debt attorney. So when they start blowing your phone up when you go through the process and they start trying to taking this thing off, and then they're calling, hey, I'm calling to collect the debt. Well, you'll be speaking to my attorneys, and they get so upset when you say that. Oh my God, like they just like, y'all work for a company, y'all, we don't owe you. You're just at the call center. Calm down. Right. It's not coming out your paycheck. You still gonna get your check. Now we'll put something on top of that. Because if they want to, they can take you to small claims court over that amount. Okay, so that's the only time when you would actually have to pay that if they come out and get a judgment against you, and the judge is like, you have to pay this, So that rarely certain happens, things, certain things, that's just the way it is. You still owe it, but do you have to pay it? Because by the time the statute of limitations expires on that loan anyway, then there's no way for them to enforce it. Depending on your state, like North Carolina, it's anywhere from 5 to 7 years. After that, they can't collect that debt anymore. They can't even call your phone. They can't even send you a letter about the debt anymore, or they can get sued. Right. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. But hey, if you do decide, like say it was, I don't know, something and you only owed like maybe $50. You're like, look, I'm tired of this tug of war communication thing. I'm just going to pay it. Make sure that, whoever is helping you with your situation knows that you're going to do that. So we can make sure that on their end, when you pay that debt, and it hasn't been deleted yet, that they get that off of your report. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes you pay it and they don't do what they say they're going to do, Right. It's no problem, Terrell. Thank you, because you have been dropping some bars. Thank you. See you very, very soon. But again, like I said, if you pay that debt and you decide to, make sure they know that you're going to do it so we can send out correct letters for that and stay on top of that and make sure that they do it. But
we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We went over time, but this was exciting, super exciting.
Yeah. Thanks for all the engagement, people.
Yes. So we're back again next Thursday. Oops, we have another question.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and answer that question. So, is there a significant difference between the 30% or the 10% utilization? Asking for me.
Yeah. So that's a great question, and the answer is it's a very small difference. And here's how you calculate that, because remember what we said was the credit utilization is worth 165 points.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to think about it like every percent is worth 1 or 2 points out of that. So the difference between 10 and 30%, you're talking about 20 points. So you're talking about anywhere from about 30, maybe like a 30-point difference, 30 to 40-point difference in that 20% on your credit report. So it can make a huge difference. But what we're saying is just make it a goal to stay below the 30, because especially when you're talking to an actual lender that's not just looking at the score, they're looking at the overall report and what's inside it and how much you're using. Well, as long as it's under 30%, they don't really care. Right. So there's really no difference under 30%. But as far as getting qualified for things like a mortgage or a car, but in terms of how it affects your score, yes, it could definitely have a difference in your score.
Absolutely. Let me piggyback off of that one. Mainly because I'm working with the client that has this issue. They have a lot of credit cards. Okay, so when you talk about this 10% and 30% of utilization, this is what I've kind of suggested to her. Add up your total amount of credit, all the credit you have. Let's say, I'm just going to throw them out there. You have $50K worth of credit. And it ranges from 350 limit card up to 1,500 or, whatever. Don't just look at it. Don't just look at it as I need to say 10 or 30% within each of those cards. Look at your total amount, right? In that case, you don't want to be at 30%. In that case, you want to be at 10% of all of your total credit, okay? All of your total credit. That's going to make a tremendous difference. And I say that because we have a tool called Smart Credit, and this is where I've kind of been watching it. It'll kind of give you this like a line chart. Is that what it's called? What is it called? Line chart. Whatever, whatever that thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's like your total amount of credit, right? And when you're closer down here, when they've added it all up, and a lot of times you're going to be closer to that 10 or 20%. That is when it's going to That's when it's going to matter. I talk about my hands. Y'all, leave me. Oh, God. That's when it's going to matter. You don't want to be 30, 40, 50 there. You want to make sure that you're at the 10% of your total credit. So it may take some time of trying to figure out, you know, keep those high credit card balances down. Okay. Just keep them down. Just because you got a credit card with $2,000 on it, don't just keep it at 10%. Don't go to 20 or 30 on those cards. Keep it at 10, and that's going to help you tremendously. I hope that helps.
Yeah, because they just want to see that you're very responsible with it and that you don't need it. They want to give you something that you don't need, if that makes sense. It's kind of crazy. It's like, you know, you're only using like 10% of your credit. Here's some more.
That's fine. Rock out with it till y'all get that black card. But like I said.
Charles says it's 30% is cutting it close. Yes, it absolutely is.
Stay under.
Stay in that within the 10 to 30, or just stay tuned for our video for our clients. We're going to show you just how to make sure that the entire thing is wiped out at the end of the statement, and making sure that when it reports, by the time it reports, that it's 100% paid off. Okay. So we got something for you on that one. And that's just for our clients. So if you're not a client yet, okay, get with the program, okay?
Absolutely. So we are out of here, y'all. We've been here almost an hour. We loved it, loved the engagement. Thank you for the questions.
Minutes. I mean, 40 minutes in the utilization ratio.
See, I got to get out of here because he will talk. If y'all ever been on a presentation with him, y'all be like, Jerry, shut up, bruh. Anyway, I love him to death, y'all. He's very, very intelligent. I love him. You is smart and you is important.
You're smart.
Okay? But anyway, so we are back next Thursday, y'all. And listen, we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to be talking about residual income, different streams of income. Okay. So I don't really know if you'll have some questions about that, but we're going to talk about the importance. And, you know, if you do have a question, we're going to answer those. Okay. So residual income, that's what we are talking about next week. So have an amazing weekend, y'all. And we will see y'all next Thursday.
All right. Y'all know how we do. Share if y'all got some valuable information. Share if you love your mama. And we are out of here. Peace.
Later.